Welcome back to the Lone Road iRacers podcast with me, your host, Guy Robertson. Today we're diving into a topic that every iRacer has experienced at some point, being taken out by a bad rejoin. There's nothing more infuriating than battling for a top 3 finish, only to have it all thrown away by a lap car rejoining unsafely towards the end of the race. But it's not just about frustration, it's about the mental and physical toll this takes on us, the iRacers. This issue isn't just about a single incident, it's about how repeated experiences like these affect a driver's trust in the iRacing environment. It creates an atmosphere where racers begin to doubt their competitors' ability to re-enter safely, which can lead to more conservative or defensive driving, sometimes even to the point of being too hesitant in crucial racing moments. Today we'll break down how these incidents impact iRacers both psychologically and physically. We'll discuss what iRacing can do to improve the situation. I'll share some personal stories that I've experienced. We're going to look at some coping strategies and explore possible rule changes that could help prevent these incidents in the future. But beyond that, we'll look at this issue from both perspectives, the victim and the driver who made the mistake. What is the correct response after a bad rejoin, for example? Should there be harsher penalties, or does iRacing need a smarter system for tracking these mistakes? We're going to break it all down. For those watching the YouTube version of the podcast, I'll be showcasing real footage that I've experienced through my races in the last few months. So, buckle up, folks. We're going to get into it. This week, I've experienced a race only last night. Position P3 with a few laps to go, and then got taken out by an unfortunate D-class driver who's only been on the service since February this year. Clearly, again, on other podcasts, I've mentioned the onboarding process from rookies to D-class is useless. It is failing, and it is failing every day of the week as people progress. They are not teaching them how to rejoin safely. There's nothing to stop them coming out, and all we're doing is expediting as we get more iRacers. So the emotional impact of being wrecked by a careless rejoin cannot be overstated. Some drivers feel instant anger, while others sink into disappointment or frustration. There is a mental fatigue that comes with racing high-stakes situations, knowing that one person's lack of awareness can erase all your hard work in a split second. And it is hard work that us, the iRacers, put in to get better day in, day out. So beyond the immediate reaction, there's also a feeling of injustice. iRacing uses an automated system to track incidents, which means the driver who gets hit is penalised the same as the one who's caused the collision in the first place. This can lead to a significant drop in safety rating or SR and I rating, discouraging clean drivers who continuously find themselves victims of these careless mistakes. The standard response from iRacing when you report them is the SR system balances itself over the season. Sorry, that is not accurate in these cases unless every driver is equally as reckless. The system does not differentiate between a victim and a reckless rejoiner, making it totally unfair for those who are taken out through no fault of their own. For some drivers, repeated incidents like this create distrust in the iRacing environment. They start assuming that backmarkers won't respect race position, leading to hesitation and an overall decline in racing quality. In some cases, people even quit certain series or avoid specific tracks known for bad rejoins. The mental burden is real, and iRacers should acknowledge this as a deeper issue other than just a one-off mistake. Even though iRacing is a simulation, the physical reactions to stress and frustration are real. Drivers often experience increased heart rate and adrenaline spikes after an unexpected crash. Tension in the hands, arms, and shoulders from gripping the wheel too hard, decreased precision and reaction time due to frustration, and higher risk of making mistakes in future laps or races due to lingering stress. The fight or flight response kicks in when a driver is suddenly crashed out of a race. This can lead to aggressive reactions, emotional outbursts, and how often do we hear that? Hands up, I'm always doing it. I don't swear, but I ask the questions. Or even have a complete loss of focus for the rest of that race. Some drivers struggle to regain their composure, leading to poor performance in future races. One of the best ways to counteract this stress is to step away from the simulator after a frustrating incident. Taking deep breaths, stretching, or even reviewing the replay before jumping into another race can help clear the mind. More experienced racers develop a resilience to these situations, but for newer drivers, a single bad experience can sour their enthusiasm for iRacing and more competitive racing. So, what should drivers do after a bad rejoin? Let's not forget about the drivers who cause these incidents. We've talked about how it affects the victims, but what about those who make the mistake in the first place? What's the right course of action if you've executed a bad rejoin and taken somebody out? First and foremost, own up to that mistake. If you're in a league or community race, sending an apology message in chat or privately can go a long way. Acknowledging the error shows that you're aware of the issue and are willing to improve. You should not, even in the public races, just log off and think you can run away. Secondly, take time to review the replay. What went wrong? Did you panic and rush back onto the track? Did you misjudge the closing speed of oncoming traffic? Learning from the mistake is key to ensuring it doesn't happen again. Logging off and avoiding accountability is not the solution. Instead, reflect on what could you have done differently. Practicing rejoin scenarios in a test session can help drivers become more aware of where and when to merge safely. A proper racecraft mindset means understanding that your actions on track affect everyone, not just yourselves. Now, how could iRacing improve the system? This isn't a new problem. As we've seen this season, bad rejoin is now a reportable offence in the rulebook, which is a positive move forward. But it still isn't a fair system, as we've already touched base on. As you can see in some of the footage on YouTube, innocent parties are getting wrecked by poor rejoins, and they are getting iRating and safety rating taken off them for being an innocent party. This would never happen in a normal car on a normal road. So why should it be any different in iRacing? So here's some possible solutions. Better incident detection. The system could track when a driver is rejoining from off track, and it issues specific warning or a penalty for that unsafe rejoin. Now, what could that specific warning or penalty be? It could be a drive through the pits. It could be a week's ban, depending on severity and the amount of poor rejoins. As an iRacer, you are totting up. Ghosting in certain situations. Similar to how iRacing ghosts slower cars during rolling starts, they could implement temporary ghosting for drivers re-entering after an off-track excursion. End of the day, guys, we drive through the pits and we can go through other cars that are just sat there. So if you come off the track, why can't that be a potential solution? Expanded protest system. Currently, drivers can file protests, but this system is inconsistent. A more automated or reviewed approach to unsafe rejoins could help reduce reckless behaviour. Post-race penalties for unsafe rejoins. if iRacing implemented stricter post-race reviews on incidents involving bad rejoins, it would discourage the drivers to be more careful. If iRacing wants to maintain a reputation for clean, competitive racing, it needs to refine how these situations are handled. A well-balanced approach would combine better driver awareness for improvements to the automated penalty system. In conclusion, bad rejoins in iRacing are a major problem. I've been on the service getting on for 4 years now, and I've experienced lots of these, not only on myself, but other racing competitors around me as well. It has been a problem from the start, and I still take it back to iRacing's onboarding process at rookie level. That's when it all should be taught and scrutinized before you come out of rookies. These cause frustration. I'm still frustrated today from yesterday evening's. I needed 40 points to get to 3.3k IR. I ended up losing 65, so that was over 100 point swing from P3. So the frustration is still present in me today. It leads to unfair penalties. I got -4 points for that. My car was wrecked, if you've seen the footage. It wasn't my fault. It discourages clean, competitive racing. The mental and physical toll is real, and both iRacing and the community need to work together to address the issue. So, we want to hear from you. Have you ever been taken out by a bad rejoin? What's your worst experience, and what do you think iRacing should do to fix this? Send us a message on the email, and we'll feature some of the stories in something that we are planning to do. We are basically planning to do a live podcast discussion on YouTube to explore ideas on how iRacing can improve rejoins and racing incidents. We'll cover lots of topics. We're looking for guests who are passionate about this topic to join us, whether you're a casual iRacer, a league admin, or someone who's been affected by bad rejoins. If you're interested in being a guest on that live show, contact us through the show's email, which is theloneroadiracerspodcast@gmail.com. This conversation is going to be part, but ready for this live YouTube podcast that we're going to do. But we will only get iRacing to change from the voice of the community, and we all need to push for change. So I hope you enjoyed our first bit of the topic today. There's a few other things in regard to iRacing and rejoins coming up in part 2 of today's podcast. Dre is the audible iRacer's companion. Want to improve your results or get more wins? Download Dre, the digital race engineer. Hit the link in the show notes for a 10% discount. Welcome back to the second part of today's podcast. And as I alluded to in the first half, I'm still feeling frustrated today. So I haven't got a feng shui room to calm me down with a nice little water feature and some ambient music. So I thought I would write a poem, and it's called The Rejoiner's Wrath. Now I'm hoping after I've read this out, I'll start feeling a little more calmer and let it go. So something new to the podcast. I don't know how you feel about this, but unless you try, you don't know. So give me some feedback if you enjoyed it. As I said, it's called The Rejoiner's Wrath. I danced with fate on the final lap, a podium dream within my grasp. The tyres sang, the engines roared, a battle for the crowd adored. But from the dust a shadow came, a lapped car lost, yet back again. Too soon, too sharp, no thought, no care. And just like that, my hopes weren't there. A flash of metal, a sudden spin. The race was lost. I couldn't win. The silence rang. The screen went black. No second chance, no coming back. I clenched my fists, my heart beat fast. The echoes of the crash still last. iRating dropped, a protest filed, yet justice lost, in code compiled. But breathe, dear racer, hold your ground, for next time fate may turn around. And when the checkered flag waves for thee, drive on with grace and let it be. Now, I feel quite inspired after that podcast. I don't know what you guys and girls thought about it. Something I may do again in the future, but I enjoyed putting pen to paper to create that poem. Now, it is a serious subject matter, the rejoins and other kind of crash and reporting systems within iRacing. So I've got a real passion about this, hence that I've now going to start to put some social media posts about having the live podcast on YouTube for people to be guests. And if you're serious and you've got a real gripe or some strong opinions on iRacing's reporting system, because that's basically what it is. We get crashed off, intentional wrecking, poor rejoins, bad ping of drivers, and all those things that frustrate us. This is our opportunity as a community to start to gather a wider opinion. So it's not just my opinion, it's the iRacers in the community. So if you're interested, please send an email, let me know, and then we can arrange this live podcast with 4 or 5 guests. That's what I'm looking for. It'll be live on YouTube, so hopefully we'll get listeners joining with their opinions as well and questions for us to table and discuss. And it'll probably be for 1 hour maximum. So if you've got some free time in the coming weeks or months, let me know, please. Okay, well, that's the end of this podcast. I'm always looking for a co-host. I've been doing this on my own now for nearly 4 years. Any guests, any sponsors, please also reach out. So until next week, folks, try and don't get frustrated and do the woosah moment of Bad Boys 2. Until then, have some feng shui iRacing, and I'll see you on the track, boys.